Thank you. I'm going to start recording here. Thank you guys for coming. This means a lot for me. These conferences are hosted by our little group. We run on a shoestring budget and we make a huge impact in the community. So thanks for coming. And today's topic that I'm going to talk about is Beyond the Hype, Harnessing AI for a Human-Centered Future. So there's a lot of amazing speakers that are all going to be giving you insights into AI itself. So what it is, how to do something, how to solve problems, how to do, how not to do things. Those are some of the things that are coming. So I'm not going to go into that. What I'm going to talk about is a little more high level thing. So go ahead. So AI is the current thing. Who gets that reference, by the way? The current thing?
You have to go with the next thing.
Yeah, there's always the next thing, right? Mark Andreessen talks about the current thing. He's the founder of VC. If you don't know who it is, he created Netscape. And back when internet was the current thing, he actually created the most usable browser, and it became an amazing thing. Now he runs Y Combinator, whatever. Andreessen Horowitz is the VC firm that he runs, and he's funded. Name a startup, he's been there, done that, he's been a part of it. AI is the current thing. There have been many other current things. So this is me. I grew up in India, detour. So I grew up in India, that's my brother, and yeah, I don't even have like a wall, it's a bucket. It's one of those plastic buckets that I'm holding. And believe it or not, so I've been in computer science for 35 years now. I had never seen a computer when I moved to this country. And I moved here at the age of 21. Within 3 months, I became a computer tutor to a well-heeled couple, because I was putting myself through college. Well-heeled couple who bought a computer and didn't know what to do with it. Somebody sold them it, and I helped them save recipes, write home journals for their children, put pictures on it, do some accounting, those are the things. $25 an hour back in 1990, not bad. I was doing good. Then, so the point is that was the current thing. Everybody wanted to be in it. Everybody wanted to do something with a computer because PCs were the new thing. And not everybody knew how to do it. And we were being told that, all jobs are going to disappear, right? If you had told me in 1990 that influencer would be a job, I would be like, are you freaking nuts? But so I'm here saying this is not the first current thing. Thanks to these folks. Okay, so this is my story. That QR code, by the way, takes you to the IMDb reference for that movie. It's a Bollywood movie, and what you're seeing on that poster is images of the actors. And back then, this is before digital video. This is in the 70s, I believe. So this is before digital video. Artists were actually painting these pictures of the actors. And the lettering is done by my uncle. So this is when all lettering was done by hand. All fonts were created from scratch for each movie. And he did all the lettering and stuff. Stay on this one for a minute. So what was happening then is that I came here to do a master's degree in hotel management. And one of the things for doing a master's level graduate course was computer literacy. So I was forced into computer literacy, saying you can't do you cannot go to graduate school without learning how to operate a computer. And so I had to take the class, and my professor was so impressed with my ability in computer science that he's like, "Who are you dreaming for so much? You should take computer science," right? So that's where I am. I switched my majors and Bob's your uncle, as the Brits would say. And here we are. So when I went back on my first trip back to India, I had been exposed to computers for a little bit by then. And I told my uncle, you should be looking into digital imaging, digital media, because your career is going to disappear. And sure enough, he ended up not getting in. He was a freelancer. He worked for the movie industry, so you get a gig and you get paid very well. And he lost his job. He didn't do much after that because he was stubborn and he resisted the digital onslaught. He could have been the premier digital artist in Hollywood if he had an early start. So that was the thing, the current thing back then. And yes, people lose their careers. But guess what? Are artists a thing of the past? I met my first digital art manager when I was working for a startup in early 90s, funded by AOL. Anybody remember that? So, and I was like, what's this? I didn't even know that title existed. So, the point I'm trying to make using this very concrete example is that there's going to be current things. And it's not the end of the world. And yes, some jobs will be obsolete, but new category jobs are going to show up. Okay, so we talked about the current thing and the last year thing, last century thing, or the last decade thing, and the new thing that might come next year or the next one, right? What is the eternal thing? What do you think it is?
Learning.
Learning?
Creativity.
Creativity.
Critical thinking.
Adapting.
What?
Adapting.
Yeah. Go to the next one. That's me. But it's you. We are the eternal thing, at least till, human race survives on this planet. We are the eternal thing. And we make the difference. The PC was created by humans, the phones, the cell phones were created by humans. All these are being created by humans, and we are the main ingredient in what's coming. So yes, you're going to learn a lot about AI today. You're going to hear about it, and hear it from the point of view of how can I be part of this? How can I make a difference? Don't give up. So let's go to the next one. So if you attended the last session, you would have heard Slavica's amazing presentation that touched a little bit on human-centered design. So here's some of the things, right? Human-centered design, and this was being dreamt up when people were talking about UI or design of an app or whatever. So, prioritize the needs, experience, and behaviors of users, innovative outcomes that enhance usability, accessibility, satisfaction, and technology serves human interest. In the age of AI, what does that translate to? So let's go ahead. Okay, let's take a look at this one thing. So how many of you have heard that there's bias in AI? Everybody, AI has biases. How many of you have heard that there's bias in medicine? I see that some hands didn't go up. Do you know that the average dosage for every medicine that's stored in CVS or prescribed is based on 20-something white male? Why is that? Because most trials are done at universities, and most people who volunteer for that trial is young men, and in the past, that happened to be white men mostly. So most dosage is based on that. I'm 5'2", I'm of Indian descent, I'm not the same as, my husband who's much taller, he happens to be a white man, much taller and much heavier, different genetics. So biases in real life exist, right? And I had about, maybe even 10 years ago, I had heard a English doctor do a TED talk about medicine of the future is not going to be based on like stuff that you add to your body, but it's going to be personalized genetic medicine. Because by that time we had already solved the human genetics code, right? So why can't AI be used to personalize medicine for you, the whole human, not just the genetic, but also your environment, your history, and also your current situation? We're moving towards that. We have, Whoop and Fitbit and things like that. We're doing a little bit of that. So when you're thinking about human-centric design and we think about the UI or the architecture of the software, think outside the box. What AI will do for medicine. And this is just one example that I'm doing, right? It's not even that big of an example. This is a common example. There are already people who are thinking, what else can be done with AI? I have a friend who is born deaf, and she launched a company called Coda, and it does real-time voice-to-text translation. So you're probably thinking, Zoom does that, Teams does that. What's the big deal? Well, she is a deaf person. Her problem is that if there are 20 people on a Zoom call and everybody's talking, who said what? How can you tell? Where's the emphasis? Text is a text. I always think of the Key and Peele skit where, the guy texts him and then the other guy gets the text and he gets pissed off. And it's supposed to be like a fun thing and he reads it as angry and then he gets really hopped up and then they show up and the guy who sent the original text is like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, oh, I thought the text had, he read into the text a tone that didn't exist. How many of us do that? Text does not translate to tone, intonation. True communication is beyond text. So anyway, that's one example. Let's go to the next one. Education. So again, I talked about, and that will take you to one of my favorite pioneers in education who created this school called hole-in-the-wall school. So he did these experiments with villages in India that did not have sophisticated education or whatnot. And he created these hole-in-the-wall computer stations. And they were not connected to the internet, they just had electricity. And he put on it educational materials. And they taught themselves because they were curious and they spent the time. And it's a fascinating story. That one is a TED talk that he gave. Check it out. It's amazing. What is the one place where if people come from the 1800s to today, they may not recognize an office because we're using computers and we've got all these tech and everything. What's the one place they will recognize?
Classroom.
It's a classroom. It looks the same. We haven't changed at all. What is stopping AI from having personalized education for every child? We have, Khan Academy, amazing, right? Amazing platform for the time. But what is stopping us from doing this? Go to the next one. So, other solutions at work, productivity solutions for the workplace. I use AI every day for my productivity. I don't know what that looks like. Your imagination is the limit of implementing it. Go to the next one. Okay, so how do you find your thing? to contribute to this. So I created this, I thought about it, I've been working on this for a while now. It's called, I'm gonna introduce this right now. It's called Barca's e-commerce. So, go ahead. It's called Barca's Geek Mode Guide. So this is Barca's Geek Mode Guide. Barca. So the first step is, in the geek mode, is incognito geek. This is where you're doing everything right, but no one knows you exist. How many of you have been here? Right? You're going to school, getting the grades, whatever, but nobody knows who you are. This is the incognito. This leaves you feeling underappreciated, unappreciated, not being able to negotiate salary, whatever, that promotion, landing the job. Right? There are some students here, there are some people who are starting out, landing that job, the first job. It's difficult. I'm not being seen, I'm not being appreciated. That's the incognito. And for those of you who are not coders, don't worry. The ecometer has nothing to do with coding. You will hear Renata soon, and she's a product manager. And when she starts talking about product manager, she just completely geeks out. Basically. It's got nothing to do with coding. It has to do with being a geek, being really into what you are into. Let's go to the next step. This is the second step, which is a certified geek mode. How many times a day do you see on LinkedIn? I got a new certificate, blah, blah, blah. I got this degree, I got a master's, I got a certificate. You are just like everybody else. Congratulations. Congratulations. You've joined this group where everybody's getting certifications and degrees and whatnot. And you're still invisible. Yes, you're now able to compete on the field. You're on the same level as all the other people who are applying for it. And you could be excellent, or you could not. So you're still, in a situation where you are not hitting the mark. The third level is LinkedIn famous geek mode. I've got 2,000 followers. I engage with people all the time, and people say, "Oh, great, good job, Barca." But where's the offers?
So, right?
Where's the offers, right? Where's that call saying, "Hey, I have a project. Do you want to do this?" That's what it is. And go to the next slide. So this is your voice. This is the secret formula that you and only you possess. This is the differentiator. This is what will take you from those 3 levels to the next level. By the way, do you know what that formula is? You want to look it up.
I can't see from here.
This is Gurney's formula for explosive devices. It's what happens. I know, I Googled it, and now FBI is looking at me going, what is this lady doing? But it's not from Wikipedia. Go ahead to the slide. So, I'm inviting every one of you to access your elite geek mode. So, that line underneath it, I try to quit, but I keep getting offers, is real for me. So in, 2023? I think 2023. I was working for Microsoft, I gave in my resignation, I was like, I'm retiring. That was my first attempt at retirement. And then I got an offer I couldn't refuse. The last 3 jobs that I got before that, and even the job that I got when I quit Microsoft, was because I spoke and people came to me and said, hey, we're looking for somebody with your talent. Can you come work for me? I launched with Voices 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, because Tatiana convinced me that I need to make this into a business, right? So people are asking you to do stuff. This is a geek mode. this is where I think that the more AI starts doing all the grunt work, like Eric said, creativity, right? A lot of you chimed in. This is the je ne sais quoi that everyone gets to develop. And this is how we live in an AI age. Beyond the hype, beyond the, oh, let me just chat GPT it, beyond making it an assistant, you know, beyond just replacing numbers. This is how you get to it. And I like to think that I help people with it. So I have speakers who will share some of that with you. So let's go to the next one. So in conclusion, the recap is that the apocalypse is nigh. It's not happening anytime soon. Opportunities abound, and we went into 3 realms, but I'm sure there are 1,000 of them that are unique to you, whatever you're into, and develop your unique voice. So experiment and play. Learn. Don't just listen to the sessions in this room. Every one of our presenters is amazing. Don't just listen to them. Go home and play with it. Make something with it. Do something with it. Build in public. Solve for real problems. Right? Share in LinkedIn. Have an open GitHub repo. Those are the things that people will say, oh, it's not just somebody who's posting, saying, hey, look at how wonderful I look on LinkedIn, or I attended this session, or whatnot. I built something. I created something, right? And then seek the right community, and of course the last QR code goes to my website, which is Wave Voices. And then finally, if you want to connect with me, here are some of the things. That's my LinkedIn QR code. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I do post on LinkedIn, by the way. And your book? Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. And then finally, and it'll be on LinkedIn as soon as I'm ready to release it. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, I'm gonna stop recording.